Hello folks, it's Revolution. In this video we're going to be discussing the mess that is Ultra Instinct post the Tournament of Power. How strong has it gotten since the Tournament of Power, through the Moro arc, through the Granola arc, to the present day. What is the strongest form of Ultra Instinct? Master, Complete, True, Sign, Perfected. There's so many different variations of Ultra Instinct now, it's ridiculous, but we will talk about which one is the strongest in this video and how it got to that point. We'll even talk about what type of multiplier it is. But guys, I'm nearly at 20,000 subscribers. Are you going to be the 20,000th subscriber? If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and let me know what type of content you want from me going forward. I really do appreciate all the continued support. Smash that like button and lend me your energy. And of course, have your say down in the comment section. If you love Dragon Ball, make your thoughts heard. What's the worst that can happen? Anyway, on to Ultra Instinct Goku. Now there are an abundance of names for Goku's Ultra Instincts. Obviously, in the Tournament of Power when the anime first came around, people mostly referred to it as Mastered Ultra Instinct. I never really liked that term myself, but I don't really care what other people in the fandom call it. I don't get my knickers in a twist about that kind of thing. It just is what it is at that moment. Personally, I prefer to call it Complete Ultra Instinct because I feel after he unlocked Ultra Instinct Sign a couple of times or 3 times in the anime, he ultimately completed it when he turned into the silver-haired UI against Jiren. In the Moro arc, when he managed to tap into Ultra Instinct at will after demonstrating 3 different variations of Ultra Instinct Sign, and Ultra Instinct Sign is important now guys, it cannot just be discarded as a weaker form. Perfected Ultra Instinct was the term bandied around in the Moro arc. Once again, I don't particularly like that term. I think it's more a advanced Ultra Instinct or a trained Ultra Instinct because he underwent training with Mayris and it allowed him to use it better. Then of course comes the Granola arc. He has trained with Whis and he's advanced it even further. Of course, Ultra Instinct against Granola and Gas, who were more powerful than he was, wasn't really enough to cut it. So Goku had to find something different, and that was True Ultra Instinct. Now, once again, I don't see how True really fits this form. It really just seems like Ultra Instinct Sign with emotions. But with this form, Goku managed to fare better against Zombie Gas than he did with the Silverhead Ultra Instinct state. Whether you call it complete, perfected, mastered, whatever you desire. Ultimately, he performed better with True Ultra Instinct. True Ultra Instinct is the term that's been bandied around by Shueisha and Toyotaro themselves. Now it's that distinction between the Silverhead Ultra Instinct and the True Ultra Instinct that has literally led to the Ultra Instinct mess, as it's often referred to in the fandom, and that's a big reason for this video. We'll be talking about the differences between those forms and why they have different power levels and different outputs. We'll also discuss what the potential multiplier is for the Ultra Instinct forms, if we can, but also look at how much stronger Goku's gotten from the Tournament of Power to the current arc. Of course, Toyotaro's manga will actually be covering the superhero story, so I'm quite excited about the fact that we're going to get Goku training on Beerus' planet with Broly, with Vegeta in attendance, after the whole aftermath of Black Frieza arriving, killing Gas, basically one-shotting Ultra Ego Vegeta and True Ultra Instinct Goku in one shot. And I'm especially looking forward to knowing the thoughts of Whis and Beerus after that whole aftermath, especially considering that whole arc started with Beerus and Whis competing with their trainees, Vegeta using Akai, Goku using Mastery of Self-Movement in order to see who becomes the strongest. They both took them under their wing and became their mentors, their senseis. Surely there's going to be a bit of back and forth between them on this particular matter. So obviously in the Tournament of Power, we got what people often refer to as Mastered Ultra Instinct. It is really just Ultra Instinct. Like I said earlier, I like to call it Complete Ultra Instinct for the reasons I gave earlier. It was able to compete with Jiren. Now, we're talking specifically the manga here. In the anime, Ultra Instinct Goku defeated Jiren, but we noticed that Ultra Instinct actually got stronger in the anime as opposed to the manga where it actually started to fizzle out. We stated that whilst Goku has achieved Ultra Instinct, he hasn't trained to wield it properly. So as the story goes on, especially with the Moro arc, we'll learn some more things that you can attribute to Ultra Instinct as you get better with it. But Goku wasn't able to access those kind of abilities here, and obviously he wasn't able to stay in it long because it was the first time he'd ever achieved it. The toll on his body really paid the price and eventually fell out of it before defeating Jiren. He did leave Jiren basically on the brink though, as Jiren after that was only able to compete with base level Saiyans. He did eventually topple them, but obviously Golden Frieza was far too strong for him in the end in this weakened state after the battle with Ultra Instinct Goku. In terms of the Ultra Instinct multiplier in the tournament's power, obviously after the anime's portrayal of Ultra Instinct, people went wild. Obviously with the anime it uses Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20. Goku does have a version of Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken in the manga, but who knows whether it's times 20 in terms of multiplier of Super Saiyan Blue. So that times 20 makes anything above that seem particularly powerful. So a lot of people going crazy. I remember I did a video saying it was 500 times blue, but I did use the 2 times rule for that. Some other people said 100 times. Some people went way further and said thousands. Some people said it was a Super Saiyan Blue stacked on top of a Super Saiyan Blue. Technically what you could say Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta or Super Saiyan Blue Fusion is. As time's gone on, it seems like the multiplier for it is a lot smaller than that. The gaps between Blue and Ultra Instinct in terms of raw power are incremental. It's actually the rest of the abilities that seem to make it a lot stronger than the previous forms. That's not me saying it doesn't have more raw power as well, guys. That's just me saying it's more of a package transformation than just a simple upgrade in terms of raw power. It goes back to when Beerus told Vegeta that Blue was simply just a mere power-up from Super Saiyan God, and that would never be enough. These characters need more than that now. So obviously thanks to Dragon Ball Super Superhero, we know from Vegeta's comments that Jiren, his raw power wasn't that different from Goku and Vegeta's at the time. Because Vegeta's in that conversation, obviously he didn't have Ultra Instinct, he had Blue Evolved, which is basically an equivalent to either Blue Kaioken. You could argue Ultra Instinct Sign at that point in terms of raw power, but I would say it's probably an in-between. As Jiren stated, it's the best thing he's encountered except for Goku's Ultra Instinct Sign, so it was better than the Blue Kaioken Goku used in the manga of Dragon Ball Super. I mean, you can even scale it that way in the anime as well, but we'll try and stick as much to the manga here. Basically, the differences in raw power don't seem to be particularly different, and you can even argue that Jiren kind of states that in the manga as well, when he states that basically exploiting openings isn't true power or true strength, I believe he says. So it wasn't necessarily Goku's attacking potency that was giving Jiren so much trouble. It was like I say, the package abilities you get with Ultra Instinct, the mastery of self-movement, the hacks like reaction time, speed hacks, those kind of things that were causing Jiren problems. And even though some people hate it, especially the Jirenettes, that Jiren seemingly got nerfed, when you think about it, it was the Ultra Instinct ability that ultimately countered Jiren's efficiency that allowed him to have such dominance over Goku and Vegeta in the first place, because he wasn't able to read Goku's Ultra Instinct because it was a step ahead of him, basically. That's quite an interesting tactical battle. I may actually come back and cover that another time. But given Vegeta's comments in Superhero, I think you could say quite confidently now that in terms of raw power, the Ultra Instinct state isn't multiple times upon multiple times above of the Super Saiyan Blue forms and its extensions. Okay, so what kind of multiplier is it? I don't know, but I no longer believe in both the anime or the manga is anywhere near 500 times Super Saiyan Blue. I just don't believe that anymore. Like I said before, I use the 2 times rule for that, and it's a bit of an outdated concept really. It doesn't mean that it can't be implemented, but you know, as we've talked about before on this channel, percentage differences in Dragon Ball can be quite devastating. Add on a few hacks into that, even Savage Feet can basically be explained. Obviously, it wasn't a trained Ultra Instinct as we stated, but that wouldn't remain the case for long. Obviously, in the Moro arc, Goku trained with Angel trainee Mayris, who helped him achieve Ultra Instinct Sign at will, and eventually Ultra Instinct at will. Now, Ultra Instinct Sign in the Tournament of Power of the manga basically had no offense against Jiren. He was basically just ducking and making Jiren miss. But in the Moro arc, it was a lot different. There were 3 different variations of Ultra Instinct Sign. Stamina Balancing Act, there was the full power version, and then there was the buff version, which was pure power. Kind of resembling the Super Saiyan grades 1 to 3 really. Obviously the Stamina Balancing Act was defeated by Moro when Moro decided to heighten his power. Goku did the same and went full power. He was able to land offensive this time against Moro, who we know is vastly stronger than the blue forms from the Tournament of Power. And then of course the buff form, which was able to do damage to Moro, but once again it had become too slow. It lost the benefits of using Ultra Instinct in the first place. As Moro even stated, Even in the balancing act part of the transformation, he had heightened agility, and Goku, even when at the same level of power, was stated to have a speed advantage. These are the hacks you just get with Ultra Instinct, and it's what makes it so difficult to fight against. Obviously, Goku loses that fight and eventually comes back later when Meirus is killed off due to him using his angel power and being erased. He turns into complete Ultra Instinct, or Mastered Ultra Instinct, whatever you want to call it, guys. The silver-haired Ultra Instinct, and he absolutely fizzles Moro 7-3, getting the plaudits from even Beerus, who acknowledges his power because essentially his moves are becoming more refined, etc, etc. Basically, as Meirus stated just before he vanished, Goku would now be able to wield this version of Ultra Instinct a lot better than ever before due to his training with Meirus. His body can simply handle the toll a lot better now. But how powerful was it? Well, after basically breaking Moro's arm when Moro actually went for the attack, and obviously we got the whole paneling where it looked like Goku hadn't even moved, which goes along with the whole concept of Ultra Instinct. You would be remiss to say that it's multiplications upon multiplications. The depiction of Ultra Instinct makes it look incredibly powerful, but I think it can get confused with Goku making it look effortless because there's no emotion in how he's fighting. Now guys, once again, in terms of a multiplier, obviously we know that Moro was stronger than Blue Evolved Vegeta quite casually. He even copied Vegeta's power and added it to his own. Moro 7-3 was quite a bit stronger than the blue forms of Goku and Vegeta. However, Ultra Instinct absolutely decimated Moro, not just in terms of the hacks you get with it. He was simply just too strong for Moro 7-3. But what kind of multiplier could it be? Well, I think it's best for us not to get ahead of ourselves with the ease of how much he beat Moro. Once again, you can defeat opponents devastatingly so with a percentage difference in terms of raw power. Goku wasn't just stronger, he had all those abilities on top. And then if you look at how Jiren was stated to be by Vegeta in the superhero movie, it was his efficiency which made that gap between them look even more dominant than what it actually was. So just for lowball's sake, you could say that Goku was of a similar level in terms of raw power to Moro 7-3 at the time, but he was able to exploit openings. We know that Dragon Ball characters, if you can catch them off guard, you can basically put them out with really weak attacks if you manage to land on them if they're not expecting it. But Ultra Instinct basically does that for you. And guys, that's just an example. I do believe Ultra Instinct Goku had more raw power than Moro 7-3. I'm just saying, as an example, even if they were both at a similar power, there's no reason with Goku's hacks and abilities that he couldn't do that to Moro. We also made comments on Ultra Instinct Goku getting sturdier as the fight went on, as he fought a stronger opponent. It was adapting to his opponent. So there's that concept, just like with Ultra Ego, when Vegeta thinks of destruction or takes damage, he gets stronger in Ultra Ego. Goku, when he's matched with an opponent of equal footing or similar level, will adapt to his opponent and get stronger and sturdier in order to combat against the opponent. That's what these Ultra forms seem to be about, is that they allow these characters to get stronger whilst fighting. Obviously Saiyans tend to get stronger whilst fighting anyway. They have adaptation. Zenkais tend to happen after they've recovered from battle, but you could look at adaptation as them essentially just getting used to their full power whilst fighting, whereas the Ultra forms simply seem to allow them to actually go beyond and break their limits constantly whilst they're fighting. At what type of pace, who knows? But you could say that was actually demonstrated in the anime of the Tournament's Power, because we saw Goku get stronger in Ultra Instinct in his fight against Awakened Jiren. That wasn't the case in the Tournament's Power in the manga, but he seemed to be getting stronger as he fought against Angel Morris in the manga. Now I think the ability for him to get stronger in his Ultra forms, Ultra Instinct, is a really important thing to remember when we get to the True Ultra Instinct versus Silver Haired Ultra Instinct debate. But just before I get that, I'll quickly go over Susanoo Ultra Instinct Goku. I think Susanoo Ultra Instinct Goku is essentially just him using his ki to basically make him look bigger. I don't think it really has that many more effects. As we saw against Gas, it allowed him to throw Gas into the stratosphere, but I think that just caught Gas off guard because it wouldn't have beat Gas at that particular time, and obviously it allowed him to compete with a deranged planet Moro and essentially allow him to hit that crystal on his head, which destroyed him. So Susanoo UI Goku is a Ultra Instinct form, but due to the conjecture we have about it and due to its displays, it doesn't seem like it gives him particularly any more power. And obviously with his battle against Moro as well, he actually received energy from the other fighters and mainly Oob that allowed him to do that. You could argue that Oob's power actually was what made him more powerful than Planet Morrow, not necessarily his own power. And whether he even retained that power is another question. Cue the Granola Saga. Well, obviously we know that Goku did train with Whis. He can tap into Ultra Instincts at will. He was able to train it for a certain period of time and even got the extra motivation of competing with Vegeta's learning of her Kai. Obviously the Dragon Ball official website came out at this time and we started to get a lot more information, and it confirmed that Goku was getting stronger throughout these arcs, as well as Toyotaro basically confirming that it's natural that Goku gets stronger from each arc to arc. It's undeniable that Goku has been getting stronger, even though, believe it or not, that was questioned at one time. Obviously we find out that Goku's at the bottom of the ladder in terms of Ultra Instinct. That doesn't mean he's a complete novice anymore, that just means in comparison to the characters Whis was mentioning, he is at the bottom of that ladder with Ultra Instinct. Goku is training to get up that ladder, and he fights against Granola using Ultra Instinct, and obviously we find out that basically once he's been fighting for a certain amount of time, his reflexes still start to wane. Even though that didn't seem like the case against Morrow, it seemed to come out of thin air. It obviously must have been happening against Morrow, and quite clearly he'd been fighting against Granola for even longer than against Morrow. So that's why that started to happen. Or Morrow just didn't basically exploit that situation. I guess you could say that Granola's eye allowed him to make that distinction, whereas Morrow wasn't particularly a trained or particularly clever fighter. Obviously, Granola was trying to save energy for Frieza, and he eventually waited for Goku's efficiency to drop and caught Goku off guard. Now, this doesn't mean that he's weaker than Ultra Instinct Goku and he had to wait for that. I think he was just trying to save energy. And obviously, there's plenty of source material now stating that Granola was, in terms of raw power, the strongest in the universe at the time, stronger than Ultra Instinct Goku. But as I keep mentioning, guys, the hacks that come along with Ultra Instinct, they aren't just equalizers to greater power, they can even surpass that greater power. And if you're exploiting openings against weaker opponents, catching them off guard, you're going to do damage to them. Obviously Goku loses that fight, Vegeta takes over, unlocks Ultra Ego. Vegeta's Ultra form also can get stronger as he fights. But once again, guys, what kind of growth do they have during battle? Is it that they are multiplying their own power multiple times during that battle, or are they just increasing it incrementally, for example, increasing it by percentage in battle? It would make quite the difference. Eventually Gas appears. Gas is too strong for everyone as he's just been wished to be the strongest in the universe, and we get Ultra Instinct Goku against Gas and even Ultra Ego against Gas. Gas is too strong for them. However, Vegeta seems to be faring better than Silverhead Ultra Instinct Goku, and obviously he points this out to Goku. Goku takes a moment to think about it and then uses True Ultra Instinct. We do find out from the Dragon Ball official website as well as other source material, this is basically Ultra Instinct Sign using emotions. Now why could that be? Well, Goku states that he can't keep his heart calm. Now that's a big problem for Goku, because what it's probably prohibiting with his Silverhead Ultra Instinct is that ability to grow during battle, like Vegeta is in that battle. Goku even states himself that he cannot keep his heart calm like Whis. Obviously, he's trying to increase his power to move up that ladder in terms of Ultra Instinct, and Whis is far better than him at using Ultra Instinct. He says he cannot keep it calm like Whis, however. Not that he can't keep his heart calm. If he wasn't able to keep his heart calm, he wouldn't be able to access Ultra Instinct in the first place. It's about getting it calmer and calmer and calmer, as by getting your heart calmer seems to increase the Ultra Instinct level of power and allows him to climb that ladder, as opposed to Vegeta, who taking damage or thinking deeper into destruction allows him to increase his power. That's the reason why Goku has to make a change. Now, Ultra Instinct Sign doesn't have a lot of the power that Silverhead Ultra Instinct has, but because he can infuse his emotions with it, that triggers his Saiyan genetics, which once again allow him to grow during battle. So it's more of a case that he cannot stay calm in the Silverhead Ultra Instinct to allow him to grow during that battle, which is what they need to do because they're weaker than Gas. By changing to True Ultra Instinct, he's allowing him to trigger his emotions, because by fighting and trying to win in that whole malarkey with Bardock, etc. in that battle, it allows him to at least get stronger, and by doing that, it allows him to overtake Gas. Now remember, Gas has been cursed or wished to be the strongest in the universe, so every time someone gets stronger than him, he seems to come back even stronger and allows him to compete but these gaps are probably incremental. When you're thinking about the wish that gets made, they only wish to be the strongest in the universe. They don't have to be stronger by multiple times. They just have to be stronger, as that would fulfill that wish. But they are coming up against these Saiyans who keep getting stronger during the battle. So the question of which is stronger between Silver-haired Ultra Instinct and True Ultra Instinct, or as a form, the Silver-haired Ultra Instinct is the True Ultra Instinct. Even Mayra said that after training him in the Moro arc. However, it's a True Ultra Instinct for Goku because Whis has told him to stop equating it to a transformation and making it his own. Obviously, we got Goku using Ultra Instincts in Base, Super Saiyan, God, and even Blue earlier in this arc. But Goku with Ultra Instinct Sign is in the realm of Ultra Instinct power and not using a lesser godly form, but with the ability, but using the Ultra Instinct power, but using his emotions that allow him to increase his power during battle due to his Saiyan traits. The problem Goku has with the Silver-haired Ultra Instinct is that will he ever be able to get his heart calm to the levels of, say, an angel? That's probably what makes it particularly difficult for Goku, is that he cannot keep going deeper into the state of Ultra Instinct. It's not his natural way of being like it is for an angel. So I think we'll see Goku using True Ultra Instinct a lot more in the future, but I think we'll see glimpses of the Silver-haired Ultra Instinct in moments where he has to break his limits or is backed into a corner, because that is the pinnacle of Ultra Instinct power, but it has a condition in that he must have an ever-increasing calming heart, which is required to then get stronger in the form and adapt to your opponent. He couldn't adapt to Gas's power in Silver-haired Ultra Instinct because he couldn't keep his heart calm, because he wanted to win, and they almost contradict each other. So he needed his emotions to allow him to do so. And also, guys, Gohan Beast had been given white hair, which looks a bit similar to Goku's silver hair, so I think they just simply had to change Goku's hair colour. Just kidding, not kidding. Anyway, guys, I guess the question is why wasn't he getting stronger with Ultra Instinct Sign against Moro? That's a good question, but what we did see against Moro was him adapt his Ultra Instinct Sign in multiple different ways. Even in his buff form, in terms of his power output, it did increase and he was able to at least hurt Moro. And obviously his training with Whis in Ultra Instinct has allowed him to refine that stamina balancing act. I know that's a lot of information to chew on, but I do believe that's a good account of all those particular variations of Ultra Instinct and gives you an indication of how much stronger he's got throughout the duration of growing with Ultra Instinct. But what I want to know is, what kind of multiplier do you believe Ultra Instinct Goku is over his Super Saiyan Blue forms? What do you think is stronger out of Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct? And what do you think is stronger out of his True Ultra Instinct and Silver-haired Ultra Instinct forms? Is there anything you think I missed? Guys, it's time to have your say. Join in on this dialectic. I look forward to reading all your comments down below. Guys, I really appreciate all your continued support. If you can share my content anywhere, then I would really appreciate it. Keep smashing that like button. Lend the Daishenkin your energy. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Until next time, Ad Astra.